Hey guys, it's me, Bree Chief. I'm back and better than ever with another video. So this video is gonna be a little more serious than what you guys are used to, and it's actually my first story time video. Yay! I've never done a story time before, so why not start now during the 30 days challenge? So this story, if you ever lost somebody very close to you, this story might touch you a little bit, and we're also going to be focusing on the fact that it was cancer that was the cause of it all. So yeah, if you guys are very sentimental, or if you are, what is the word I'm looking for, a very emotional person, then turn this video off now. Yeah, just, you know what I'm saying. So let's get started. My mom had me at a very young age, and she was friends with this woman named Suzanne, and they were BFFs forever. They still BFFs to this day. I was born 2 years before Marquise was born, and we were just obviously by default we were brother and sister because our moms were best friends. We were just raised, that's your sister, that's your brother, you guys have each other's back, done dollar. And we just had this bond that nobody could really understand, but we understood each other, and we loved each other unconditionally. Around the time that I was a junior, maybe towards the end of junior year, or maybe the middle, he was diagnosed with cancer. But right as he started getting better, it just went downhill. So I remember being, with him and stuff, and finally seeing, like, he was going for surgery to get a tumor removed, and when they removed one of the tumors, there was many. When they removed one, it paralyzed half his face. So now, like, his face was, one half he couldn't smile, the other half he could. He was still playing football. He was so talented with football, like, you guys have no idea. He was still out there like a normal kid, trying to succeed, get a freaking scholarship and a full ride to college for football. Like, he was still doing his thing. Marquise and I, if he was still here, I feel like I would have took over social media with him, because Marquise and I started doing videos when Vine came out, and I'm gonna probably play some clips and stuff, but me and him were doing videos way before Instagram was popping, YouTube, way before any of that. Marquise and I were doing videos randomly just because we enjoyed it, and he was so outgoing and bubbly that it was just perfect and everything. And like, I'm there for you. To see him go from that to this was like, it took a toll on me, because like, damn, like, I don't even know what to do anymore. August came around, which is when his birthday was here, and his birthday is August 13. And his mom had a big surprise party. He had no idea. I was there, Alyssa was there, Christian, I believe all of us were there. And like, you could just see it on his face. He was tired. When we all said surprise, he was just like, but he was happy. All his friends were there. He was on the water slide. We were all having a good time. And this was actually my last really good memory with him, because just being there, watching him, laughing, just seeing him having a good time, things felt good for once. Things felt good. But I didn't know that would be the last time that I would hear him talk to me, or hear him, see him running around or going down the slides and laughing. I didn't know that was going to be the last time. A week or two later, he was going in for an outpatient surgery. I believe he flatlined, and my mom was there, and that's when things got bad. Now, mind you, I'm in school during this. The last thing he said to my mom and Suzanne was that his head was hurting. He just kept saying, my head, and then he flatlined. And they were like, your parents or your dad's about to be here, you're getting picked up early, a family emergency. And immediately, like, that instinct is like, oh no, like, please don't tell me it's Marquise. And I see my dad, and everybody's in the car. Like, all my sisters are in the car. Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I walk into the ICU where they have him, and they're watching him and everything. And I come in the room, and now I see him. He's laying down, and he just looks different. He has tubes in his mouth, and like, right then and there, I was like, oh my God, this can't be real. This is when I knew. Because she called me over, and I sat on her lap, and she hugged me in a way that you know, it's like a comforting hug, trying to let you know, like, hey, everything's okay. But then she like sat back a little bit and she looked at me and she goes, like, you know, Marquise loved you, right? I looked at her and I was like, why are you saying that? And she just goes, he's not gonna wake up. I was told that there was hope, that, you know, they were letting his brain breathe so that he can wake up, you know? And when she told me he's not gonna make it, that's when it was like, wait a minute, what if he does wake up? This is when I was in denial now. Now at the time I didn't know that when somebody's brain dead, that it means they're legally dead. I didn't know any of this stuff. I know all this stuff now because I went through it with Marquise. They were like, no, we were gonna take him off the machines in 3 or 4 days if there's no improvement. 3 days passed, and I just remember sitting down in his room. I would not leave the room. I only went to shower and come back. And it was like a movie. I was watching everybody come to say goodbye. So imagine sitting next to your brother, someone you grew up with for 17, 18 years. Like, you were there, you watched him, you were babysitting him, you were closer than ever. Just imagine sitting there right next to his bed and watching people come and pray and say their goodbyes and cry. I believe it was the 4th day. Well, all of Gateway High School was there on either the 3rd or 4th day. And that was when it got real emotional, because it was like, I've never seen any of those guys that he played football with forever cry. And I just remember all of us in the lobby, I'm watching everybody, we're laughing, we're having a good time, and then the doctor comes out, and the doctor goes, it's time. And only close friends and family were allowed in the room during this time. Now, I was not prepared for what was about to happen next. So all of us walk into the room, and we surround his bed, and I'm by his left foot, and I'm holding his foot. And I'm just like, I remember in my head thinking, like, just wake up now, wake up, because this is it. This is the part where they're gonna actually pull this stuff out, and they're gonna stop him from breathing. I'm sorry, I haven't talked about this like this in a while. Okay, maybe they're gonna pull out the plugs and he's gonna wake up. Like, I just had so much hope that he wasn't gonna die. Like, I didn't realize what was about to happen until it started happening. Her sister was like, is it okay if we play his favorite song? And me and him had the same favorite song. It was Differences by Genuine, and we would sing that song in the car together all the time and dance to it and all types of stuff. And so they started playing that song, and then she was like, are you ready? And Suzanne was like, yeah. So they started pulling out the plugs and stuff like that, and I'm just watching, and I'm like, wow, I'm literally watching these doctors take the things out of my brother that are keeping him alive, you know? And they were taking the machines out, and I just remember he started shaking, like his body, because it was shutting down. And his mom, like, the cry that came out of her, I've never heard before, and it was like that desperate cry of like I'm losing my child, my firstborn child. And then that's when all the monitors were stopping, and his heart was stopping. Like, everything just came to a stall. Everything stopped. And I was just looking at him. I'm like, please wake up, please wake up, please wake up. Like, I did not want to hear that flatline sound. I'm like, please just wake up. Like, you could do it, you could do it. And then that was it. Like, he was gone just like that. He was alive 1 minute and he was gone the next. And then that's when everything, like, really took a toll, because I knew I wasn't gonna hear him laugh no more, and I knew I wasn't gonna go to theme parks with him no more. I knew that it was done right there when that happened. So I turned to my mom, and she gave me this hug, like this tight hug, and we started walking. I couldn't even walk straight. Like, I couldn't even walk straight. It was I never went through anything like that. I remember having a nurse on one side of me and my mom on the other side, because they were lifting me up and walking me to the room. And I remember going into the lobby, and everyone started crying as soon as they saw all of us. And I laid down and I rested. I didn't even know what to do. It was like the whole world stopped. My whole world was on hold. Nobody wanted to leave the hospital. Like, we knew what was done. We knew it was done. But none of us wanted to leave the hospital because we knew there was no reason for us to come back. At least we knew when we were coming to the hospital that there was a reason, because he was here. And now we knew once we left this hospital, there wasn't no coming back. Next is the funeral. Suzanne was staying with us once we got home and everything, and that was like my comfort, that his mom was with us, that we could still hang out with her. And then I remember coming out my room the next day, and they asked me if I wanted to help with the funeral, and I had a meltdown. I was like, no, I don't want to help with the funeral. I don't want to choose what's gonna go on his card. No. And I left. I left the house so mad, and because they just looked so calm, and I'm just thinking, how can you sit here and go through pictures and laugh and stuff? And I didn't realize that that's what you need to do. Like, I was just so hurt. It was rough. It was. So funeral comes around, and when I'm telling you, everybody was there. There were so many people there, and it was just weird having all eyes like on the close family members, because we sat in the front, and you could just tell people are looking at you and they're like, dang, I feel bad. I'm like his older sister. I've been there for him through everything, and he was there for me when I was sick, and I remember him being there. I remember me and him making fun of my sickness and stuff like that, and it was so hard. I never thought that I would be speaking at his funeral. When we started throwing the flowers onto his coffin, it sounded so ugly, like heavy roses hitting metal, and it was loud, and the sound haunts me. Like I that was one of the things that haunted me. Like, I could not sit there and listen to the sound of the flowers hitting the coffin, and it just hurt. It hurt so bad. After that, everything was kind of at a standstill. I don't know. I can't even begin. I was 17 because my 18th birthday, he wasn't with me, and he was with me for every other birthday before that. And I just remember Suzanne getting me the big blanket that says Marquise and has all the pictures on it. I'll show pictures of that too. And after that, Christmases weren't the same. Halloweens were never the same. Nothing was ever the same after that. And that probably was, I know I was sick and I was fighting for my life, but him passing away was the hardest part of my life, was the worst part of my life. Me being sick was whatever in my eyes, but watching him go through that and not making it through was probably the hardest part of it all. Man, I still think about it to this day. There's never a day that goes by that I don't think about it. Celebrating your birthday, and now I'm speaking at your funeral 2 weeks later. Like, it was the worst thing that I've ever witnessed and gone through in my life. I am sorry for anybody that's out there that's struggling with it, or that has a family member struggling with it. I am so sorry, because I would not wish that upon anybody, not even my worst enemy. Because when I'm telling you, cancer is ugly, it is ugly. It is physically ugly. It lets itself be known. That's all I got for this story time. And yeah, that's the story on how I lost my baby brother to cancer. So with that being said, it is I, Bridge Eve, and I'm back and better than ever. And we're doing it for Marquise, number 4. You already know, yeah.